What's up, guys? Welcome back to Mikey Yourself. And this week's video, we're going to talk about 3D printing and whether or not it's worthwhile to have one for the garage. Let's take a quick look and I'll give you my thoughts. All right, folks. So when I got here, and I mentioned this earlier in the year for the Christmas holiday, I was gifted a Anycubic Kobra S1 3D printer. So it has the AMS, and that basically just means you can hold more than one color of filament in it. And I've kind of been toying with it. So I've been thinking about getting myself a 3D printer for some time. I was on the fence for a long time because I didn't realize or think that I would be able to print anything useful other than a bunch of tchotchkes, right? Like trinkets and all kinds of little fun toys or whatever. That's cool, but I wanted to get something that was going to produce something that would be more useful, right? And so this one is not the biggest model they have, but what's nice is it is an enclosed model. And why that's important is depending on what you're printing, the material may require a different type of environment. And we'll talk about that in a minute. So, as I mentioned, filament, right? This in here that you see right now is just your standard, they call it PLA. You get a spool of this for anywhere from 15 to 20 bucks. And it is probably the easiest material to print out. So we've got that there. I've got a bunch of different colors there. I got a yellow spool down there. So I'm collecting up my, I'm getting my collection of colors. Now, why is that useful for garage stuff if there are things like ABS plastic? So in the world of 3D printing, what I'm finding is not everything requires a lot of strength. It might be a print that you don't ever intend to have outside. So you can go with a lesser cost material or something that's a little bit more like abundantly available, different manufacturers, whatever it is, and print that stuff for the garage. And then if you want something that's going to be outside or something that's going to have to be a little bit more durable, then you use the stuff like ABS plastic. There's another filament called PETG, so that's PET. I think there's a dash and then a G. And that gives you stuff that is a little bit more stronger and also is resistant to UV, right? So that's huge. If you're going to put something on your bike, then you want something that's going to be able to withstand the sun being on it and not just warp or I mean, it's not going to melt, but, or maybe it could, I guess. Maybe if you're living in Arizona, come out and, your parts are all melted off. So let's take a look at some of the stuff I printed out and how I've made this thing useful in the garage and what my future plans are. So what can you make for the garage? And I would say excuse the mess, but this is legit. Like, you use your garage, you're gonna have crap all over the place, right? It is what it is. So they have like basically it's a pegboard system, right? But it's plastic that you can print out, and so you can make it as big as you want, which is really nice. And then they have custom little pegs or whatever you want to put on there available. You can do little trays like I did there. You can throw your tools, so that's stuff you have readily available within hand's reach as you're doing things. You can see this I haven't mounted yet, but instead of this friggin' thing from Harbor Freight, and I'm sure a bunch of you probably have those things, if you try to mount it on the wall, I don't know who designed that, but it just doesn't make sense to me. So I printed this out. Fortunately, the file that I got wasn't a design of mine, but it only held so many. So I printed that style for the majority, and then this one will pick up the last couple. And then I'll be able to put that on my wall. It makes a little bit more sense. You do lose the marking of what the sizes are, but they already have it on the handle, so not a big deal. You can make yourself some pretty cool little trays. I haven't started using that one, put a little parts tray there. So it's custom stuff, right? Like that's what's really the point of this, is you can make yourself custom stuff if you want to. You can do signs, go Texans, Eagles. You can do stuff like glove box holder. So you think, oh, I can get that from Harbor Freight. Let me compare that to my Harbor Freight one because I've got it, right? And this one, nice and firm. I can grab, I'm running out of gloves, but I can grab them. That thing doesn't come out when I try to pull the gloves out. Let's look at the Harbor Freight one. All right, if you have the Harbor Freight box deal, now I don't have it, you know, on with a magnet. I have it with just a screw right now, but it's probably because I'm gonna get rid of it anyway, so or figure out some other use for it. But you got these tabs that you have to push in to try to center your box up, and it never centers just right. And I happen to have it this way instead of vertically instead of horizontal. But if you have it horizontal, you know, like this thing just moves around. Like, I don't get it. Like, Hardy is their brand, and what the hell? Like, why is there so much space for the box of gloves? Doesn't make sense. And to me, this should work a ton better than what it does. That 3D print kills it. Now, when it comes to toolbox organization, I made these boxes here, and the reason I made these is just to kind of help separate things a little bit. And in the Husky, you know, drawers, these ones are really shallow, so it's hard to find something that's already made that you can buy right off the shelf in a store, throw in this drawer, and it'll just work, right? So I was able to measure exactly the height I needed, create these things, and now I got my little separator. Now, I will tell you, I got a bunch of these plastic bins all over the garage. Got them up here, I have 2 over there. So these are dirt cheap from the dollar store. You get like, I don't know, 2 or 3 of them for like $1.25 or something like that. The reason I bring that up is because 3D printing might not always be the cheapest solution. And I will show you one of the cool things that the 3D printing tool has that you can determine, oh yeah, that makes sense. I'm gonna go buy it or I'm gonna make it. So some of the other stuff, just a little bit of signage, shark nose, Harley Davidson sign, that's cool. If you're an Air Force guy and you work maintenance, then you know what that badge is. Very proud of my time as an aircraft maintainer and a QA inspector. So it's pretty cool to be able to make a nice large badge there, 7 level. And then I talked to you guys about making the visor for the stereo, which will be a video you'll be seeing here shortly on how well that performed for me. Able to make custom parts like this here, which is a mount for an amp to go in the saddlebag. So I was able to do something like that. You can create speaker spacers if you want to add like some pop to your bike, some trim coloring. You can do that. And actually, this is PLA. I did some test printing. I've got ABS on the way because I'm going to print some real stuff for the Road Glide. All right, before we get into software, one of the other benefits of having a 3D printer is it gives you a reason why to buy the little toolbox, right? So I've seen these around. I know a lot of people have them, and I kept thinking, man, I want to get one because it looks cool, but I don't really have a need for it. And I didn't want it just taking up space, so I wanted it to be useful. And now I have a use for it. So you can keep your, mini files and X-Acto knives in there, some of the other, custom cutting tools, deburring tools for the 3D printer. I've got some other stuff here that I use to monitor temperature and stuff like that, but I did some 3D printout trays for it. And what's cool is a lot of this stuff somebody's already made. So all you have to do is download the file, print it out, and you can put it in. So like this little drawer here, that way you can double up some of your storage in that bottom one. So that's pretty cool. So let's take a look at the software and how you can determine whether or not what you're printing is worthwhile. So here is the tool that is used right before you produce your print. So this is what they call the slicer. It is not where you design your stuff, okay? So this is just kind of printing prep. This is where you configure your printer to do all of the things you need it to do, whether it be temperature, speed, what material you're using, what colors you're using, all of that stuff. But what I want to show you this for is what's really cool is based on, it knows like how much your filament costs. So based on it, it can tell you what the cost of this print is going to be. So if you look in this scenario, I don't know if that's going to zoom in for me, or not zoom in, but focus, 13 cents. So I needed to create a custom adapter that went from a garden hose to, I think this is a 1/4 inch tube connection. And yeah, I was able to find that file right off the internet. And instead of going out to like Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever and maybe finding it, maybe, I had it. It cost me 13 cents to print. Now, the downside is it takes me an hour to print it out, but that's okay. That's an hour I can go, do something else here at the house, not have to leave, and then I just come in the garage, grab the part, and use it when I'm ready to use it. So not a big deal. Let's take a look at the actual design tool. All right, so here's our design tool. It's CAD, right? So this happens to be Autodesk Fusion, not commercial use version of it. And this is where you're gonna create whatever it is you're trying to make, right? So like here's my bezel that I'm working on, some random stuff, some plates, other designs that I did. And where I would say, this gets a little tricky is as you try to create something like a new design, you kind of get lost in, okay, how do I make this a 3D product, right? And what you have to get used to is you start basically by making a two-dimensional, a flat design. So if it's a circle or whatever it is, right? We'll just do something simple. So you kind of put your measurements in there. If you need to make these edges or the corners a little bit more rounded, you can do that depending on what reasoning you have to make those kind of adjustments. There are little tools, measuring tools that you can get to stick in corners that'll tell you exactly what, we'll say, angle that needs to be. So like, say it's got to be 1 centimeter. So there you go. Now we got a nice smooth corner. Now, 2D image, right? How do you make it a 3D image? Well, once you've kind of sketched it all out, and we're taking this bare basic, you do what they call an extrude, and basically that is making it bigger than a flat piece of, plastic, right? So let's say 10. And hard to do with the touchpad, but now you can see it's actually a physical object, right? And this is just the start. You can do so many things with this, and literally there are far better videos that I could ever produce on how to use this application. But just to give you a perspective of what does this look like if you have a 3D printer and you want to make your own stuff. You can do stuff like this. If you don't want to make your own stuff and you just want to print other people's designs, you can go out to websites like Thingiverse, Maker Online. There's a bunch of them where you can search and see if you can find whatever it is you're looking for. Maybe it's a part to your car, or one of those stupid visor clips that always breaks, right? Maybe you got an old Firebird and the darn lock plastic piece broke off and you can't find one, or they cost $1 bajillion, on Summit. You can print one of those, right? You print whatever color you want it in. You want to create a bezel for your stereo, you want to do trim inside of your car, you can do that. They may have already done it, so it's good to search there, see if somebody's already produced it, and then you just print it out yourself. And regardless of what it is, I assure you, you will pay much less in Filament than buying the actual part if you were going to buy the part, say on Summit or one of those other online retailers for car parts. Now, of course, not mechanical, or I shouldn't say mechanical, not like car parts, right? Like, you're not going to print out an engine block. Be a fake engine block. You could do something like this, right? Something to keep you busy. Do that all day. You can do that kind of stuff, but real parts. So at the end of the day, here are my thoughts. 3D printer is a great tool to have in the garage. Is it worthwhile? Absolutely. Make the investment. You can make it very useful for yourself in the garage and around the house. You can print out your own shelf brackets, all kinds of stuff. So things that you could actually do yourself that will be worthwhile. The one thing you have to prepare yourself for is it takes time to do the prints. It's not like your desk printer where you click print and bam, that sucker's out in 27 seconds. If you wanted to print, say, something like this, you're looking at about anywhere from an hour to 2 hours for something like that. Anyhow, I hope this video kind of brought a little bit of like knowledge to you if you're kind of on the fence on whether or not you want to go 3D printer. You work in the garage and you're thinking, man, if all I'm going to do is make keychains, then it's not worthwhile. It's definitely worthwhile. Make the investment, learn how to do it. It's a ton of fun, especially if you design your own stuff. That's pretty cool. You can do cell phone holders, you name it, man. Like all kinds of stuff for your car, for your bikes, and replacement parts that you're, usually running out to a store to go buy. Clips, shroud clips, all that kind of stuff. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that thumbs up. And I would love to have you as a member of our community. Become a subscriber, costs you nothing. Helps out the community by giving somebody else the opportunity to share their information with us so we can better ourselves in the future. Until my next video does post, I hope to see you in the win.